Present authorities, good afternoon. In a few moments, we'll be starting the ceremony for recognition of the Center of Excellence on Ocean, Innovation and Transformative Technologies of University of São Paulo, Inova Oceano, Cátedra UNESCO para a Sustentabilidade do Oceano, as a member of OAS Network of Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies. We ask that mobile phones be turned off or silenced. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, present authorities, good afternoon. University of São Paulo is honored to welcome to this event. To compose the opening panel, we would like to invite the following authorities to the stage. Professor Carlos Gilberto Carlotti Jr., Rector of University of São Paulo. Ms. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary for Integral Development for the Organization of the American States, online. Her Excellency Ambassador Benoni Belli, Permanent Representative of the Brazilian Mission to the Organization of the American States. Ms. Marina Low, State Representative at São Paulo State Legislative Assembly. Professor Marco Antônio Zago, President of the São Paulo Research Council, FAPESP. Professor Roseli de Deus Lopes, Director of Institute of Advanced Studies. Professor Alexander Turra, UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability of University of São Paulo. We announce the names and thank the authorities that are present in this event. Capitão de fragata Marco Aurélio de Lima Rocha, representando o almirante de esquadra Rabelo, da Marinha do Brasil. Professor Luiz Antônio Passos Morales, administrador do Banco Nacional de Desenvolvimento Econômico e Social. Senhor Lívio Nico, diretor do CNRS França. Professor Dr. Raul Gonzalez Lima, pró-reitor adjunto de inovação. Professora doutora Célia Regina da Silva Garcia, assessora do reitor. Opening the event, we will hear the welcome words of Professor Alexander Turra, UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability of University of São Paulo.
Welcome, everybody, to these important moments in the University of São Paulo and I should say, or I can say, in the ocean track in Brazil, because it's really important to have the opportunity to have schemes or institutional arrangements that allow us to think about the ocean and its relationship with the solution of the problems we face, not only in Brazil, but in the world. So today we have the opportunity to have a seminar in which we will have the launching of this center, the OAS, the Organization of American States Center of Excellence on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies at the University of São Paulo. And this is a very important movement because we also had, as an institution, but also as a person, I had the possibility to meet Ms. Kim Osborne, this person that believed on the ocean agenda and also in the partnership with the University of São Paulo, and is pushing not only us but other countries in the region to promote what we are calling transformative technologies. And this is very important because this is one of the possibilities or the ways to face the challenges we have in the planet, the climate change crisis, the biodiversity crisis, the pollution crisis and the poverty crisis that are causing several consequences in the world. So that's a very important moment, and I would like to acknowledge all the structure of the University of São Paulo and all the authorities that are here, showing us the different importances that the ocean have, not only for the university, but for FAPESP, for ALESP, which is the State Assembly, and other institutions. So I will be very brief, and thank you very much, and hope you enjoy the ceremony and all the other panels that we planned for today. In a way, we will have more ideas and work together to advance in the actions towards a sustainable future. Thank you very much.
Now, we will hear the words of Professor Roseli de Deus Lopes, Director of Institute of Advanced Studies.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, and thank you, everybody here, for being with us on this special day, rainy day, but it's very special day. And in the name of the Advanced Studies Institute, I would like to thank Professor Turra for all the work he has done in this subject. And on a country like we have, that has a very, very big coast, we need to pay attention to the ocean. How can we innovate? How can we use the resources but protecting what we have? And Professor Turra, with the share that we have at the Advanced Institute, has done a very wonderful work. Every year he has the Ocean Week and several seminars, publications, but we need to support his work and to disseminate all the knowledge that we have achieved, but we have many more work to do, because there are many discoveries to be done. So we need to work together, all the authorities here and the researchers, to be able to achieve what we need to success. Thank you all, and I'm sure the event will be a great success this week. Thank you so much.
We will hear now the opening statement of Ms. Marina Elou, State Representative at the São Paulo State Legislative Assembly.
Hello, everyone. I wasn't expecting to speak in English right now, so I will improvise a little, but I would like to start thanking very much all of you for your presence here, especially this special table, which all of you whom we are here to open such an important ceremony for the ocean. I am member of the Permanent Commission of Science and Technology in the Legislative House here in the state of São Paulo, and I am also president from the Parliament Front for the Environment. So, because of these both places and with those hats, I'm here to represent the legislative, the lawmakers, in this very important moment where we should take front of the discussions and actually put the ocean as a priority. It is in our country, in our state. So I'm very honored to be here at the ceremony for recognitions of the Centers of Excellence on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies of the University of São Paulo, in which I really want to thank the Carlos as the principal, how can I say reitor in English? Rector. President of the USP. It's such an important university here in our state and for the science, and we've been working hard for defend the science and the technology and the science of our state in front of our colleagues in the Legislative House. So you can count on me, count on our commissions. And I also would like to thank Tuha, who is such an important defender of the ocean and is also always thinking new ways so we can actually prioritize the oceans in our lives. The climate change is not a future problem. It's happening right now during the whole world, and it's a problem that impacts all of us, but in different forms. People with most vulnerabilities, Black people here in Brazil, traditional communities here in Brazil are much more impacted by the climate change than all of us. So we have to, every time we think about the oceans, we're also thinking about people who live on the coast, about people who need to be on these discussions. And Tuha always does this with a very, very good commitment. So you can also count on us, count on Assembleia, and thank you very much for the invitation. Count on me. Thank you.
We will hear now the opening statement for Her Excellency Ambassador Benoni Belli, Permanent Representative of the Brazilian Mission to the Organization of the American States.
Thank you very much. I'd like to provide my greetings to Professor Carlos Gilberto Carlotti, Jr., Rector of the University, other authorities, Secretary Kim Osborne, who is with us online, and Professor Alexander Turo, who is the mastermind behind this event today. And it is really an honor to be here for the launch of the Organization of American States Center of Excellence on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies at the University of São Paulo. This initiative builds upon the already fruitful cooperation between the university and the OAS. A year ago, actually, I had the privilege of witnessing the signing of a broad cooperation agreement in Washington, D.C. by Rector Carlotti here and Secretary General Almagro, encompassing research, training, and capacity building. Now, with a more focused approach, this Center of Excellence will strengthen regional cooperation in ocean science and technology, helping OAS countries address critical challenges and create opportunities for sustainable development. I am proud that one of Brazil's most prestigious institutions, the University of São Paulo, will contribute to this initiative. The collaboration between the OAS, its member states, and the Oceanographic Institute and Institute of Advanced Studies of University of São Paulo will be an invaluable asset to the OAS network of Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies. I am confident that this collaboration will further enhance the work that USP has already been doing in the development of ocean sciences. This partnership will complement other international collaborations that USP is already developing in this area, bringing a regional perspective to the table. As enshrined in the OAS Charter, integral development encompasses a holistic approach that touches upon economic, social, educational, cultural, scientific, and technological fields. The development pillar of the organization holds a special place in Brazil's foreign policy. We believe that fostering cooperation within the Americas is a natural and effective strategy to achieve joint development that is economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable. We are especially proud that Brazil can host one of the 7 OAS Centers of Excellence established so far, and counting. We probably will have more, and Secretary Osborne will talk about that. This network of centers holds great potential for scientific and technological exchanges in key areas related to transformative technologies. As an advocate of ocean sustainability, Brazil has been engaged in several multilateral efforts in this area, such as the G20 Ocean Initiative, launched under the G20 presidency, As UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability at USP, Professor Turo is one of the coordinators of the Ocean 20 initiative, as you know. We believe that his work in this forum will greatly contribute to OAS countries understanding the ocean sustainability. In conclusion, the OAS Center of Excellence on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies is a milestone in the technological cooperation between Brazil and the OAS. I am confident that the center will significantly contribute to the advancement of scientific knowledge and innovation initiatives, fostering regional cooperation that benefits our hemisphere. Thank you very much.
I would like to call upon Professor Marco Antônio Zago, President of São Paulo Research Council, FAPESP, and Director at USP from 2014 at 2018, to speak.
Okay, good afternoon. First of all, I wish to compliment the University of São Paulo for this initiative. I compliment as well the UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability, dear Professor Carlos Gilberto Carlotti, Rector of USP, Ms. Elu, Representative at the State Parliament, His Excellency Benoni Belli, Permanent Representative at AOS, Her Excellency Executive Secretary Kim Osborne, dear Alexandre Turra, my colleagues. UNESCO has declared 2021-2030 the Ocean Decade. I represent here the research agents of the State of São Paulo, FAPESP, one of the main supporters of ocean research in Brazil. Many different approaches to protecting the oceans depend and derive from scientific research. More than one-third of all Brazilian publications on oceans originate from the state of São Paulo, the same production as, for instance, Argentina's. Most of the research has been supported by FAPESP along most decades. Our agency has also purchased the oceanographic vessel Alpha Crucis, which is in service at the Oceanographic Institute of the University of São Paulo. The FAPESP portal on the Sustainable Development Goals records all the projects and grants that we have supported in this aspect. SDGs 6 and 14, for instance, show more than 4,000 projects supported in each topic. FAPESP has already supported more than 300 research projects on marine life, especially within the scope of our biodiversity program and the global climate change program. Several keywords retrieved from our archive more than 50 projects funded by FAPESP, as for instance, Atlantic Ocean, interaction of the ocean with the atmosphere, sea surface temperature, mollusks, paleoceanography, or ocean circulation. FAPESP recently participated in the Amaryllis expedition with 50 scientists from France and Brazil on the aboard the largest French oceanographic vessel, the Marion de Fresne. The expedition went from Paramaribo to Recife, carrying out exploratory excavation on the ocean floor. The objective is to reconstruct the geological and climatic history of the region, which includes the Amazon basin. In April this year, we at FAPESP organized a tripartite conference with representatives of the state of São Paulo, Argentina, and France, and launched an ambitious 10-year research project on the South Atlantic and Antarctic, called PROASA. As a consequence, at the moment, we are in the process of evaluating candidatures of young researchers who wish to come to São Paulo from abroad to pursue a researcher's career within our PROASA program. Additionally, ocean research is central topic in environmental sciences, one of the 7 disciplinary pillars of the IRC Transitions, a research center created by CNRS within the campus of the University of São Paulo. FAPESP is a full partner of this initiative since its launching. Finally, FAPESP was one of the signatories of the Brussels Declaration of April 2023 together with the other scientific institutions, calling for the need to establish an international panel for ocean sustainability, IPOS, to be officially launched next year. We are at the moment working with CNRS to shape part of this proposal. Thus, FAPESP is working intensely in favor of knowledge and sustainability of the oceans. We intend to strengthen our participation. Please count on us in this aspect. Thank you.
Now you hear the words of Ms. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary for Integral Development of the Organization of the American States. Estamos sem som, Rafael.
Carlos Gilberto Calotti Jr., Rector of the University of São Paulo. Ms. Marina Helu, State Representative at the São Paulo State Legislative Assembly. His Excellency Ambassador Benoni Belli, Permanent Representative of Brazil to the Organization of American States. Professor Dr. Marco Antonio Savo, President of the São Paulo Research Council. Professor Roseli de Deus Lopez, Director of the Institute of Advanced Studies. My dear friend, Professor Alexander Tura, UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability at the University of São Paulo. Distinguished representatives of the OAS Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies from Colombia, Mexico, Panama, and Peru who are joining us in the room. Special guests, distinguished representatives of the University of São Paulo, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues who are present, Director Mark Lambridis, Director of the OAS Department of Sustainable Development, and Cesar Parga, Chief of the OAS section on Innovation, Technology, and Competitiveness. Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to express my deep regret for the inability to join you in person for this event. There is no place I'd rather be right now than with you in Sao Paulo, but my trip had to be canceled per doctor's instructions. I am, however, delighted and deeply honored to join you virtually. As we gather to celebrate the designation of the Center of Excellence on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies at the University of São Paulo as an OAS Center of Excellence on Transformative Technologies, I am at once delighted and humbled. Delighted that we are realizing such a milestone in the Americas, and humbled that this renowned institution of higher education in the Americas saw it fit to open its doors to the OAS and the Americas by hosting this center. At this juncture, allow me to recognize the leadership of those who made today possible. Dr. Carlos Gilberto Calotti, Rector of the University of São Paulo, thank you for your support of this initiative. Your commitment to this center is a testament of your recognition of the importance of science, innovation, and technology, not just for Brazil, but for the Americas and indeed the world. Allow me also to especially recognize Dr. Alexander Tura, whose hard work and dedication truly made this dream a reality. Your dedication to the ocean's agenda is palpable, Dr. Tura, and it has been a pleasure working with you. Ambassador Belli, our thanks to you for your participation in this program and for the support of the permanent mission of Brazil to the OAS in welcoming such an important partner to the network of centers of excellence. Distinguished colleagues, the agreement we are signing today builds upon the wider agreement between the USP and the OAS, which was signed by our Secretary General, Luis Almagro, last year. And so I thank the entire USP body for your acknowledgement of the OAS as a valued partner. Distinguished colleagues, it is fitting that this Center on Transformative Technologies for Oceans is being hosted here in Brazil, a leader in the field of ocean research and innovation. Already, this center has demonstrated its capacity to bring together top minds and projects from around the globe to share and develop solutions to the myriad of development challenges that we face. Next year, Brazil will host COP30, a true manifestation of its commitment to addressing the many environmental issues we face, not the least of which within our oceans. We are confident that by becoming an OAS Center of Excellence, the University of São Paulo will serve as a hemispheric reference for all the countries of the Americas. At the OAS, we believe that science, technology, and innovation can truly propel inclusive, resilient, and sustainable growth in our countries. Collaboration, cooperation, and partnerships in scientific and technological research are emerging as powerful forces for finding solutions to global threats to lives and livelihoods. The rapid evolution of transformative technologies is changing the way we work, live, and play at an unprecedented rate. The countries of Latin America and the Caribbean, and indeed the wider hemisphere, cannot simply be spectators of this phenomenon. We must develop institutional capacities, human capital, research, and technologies, which corresponds with the diversity, priorities, and needs of the region. The persistent gap in the scientific and technological fields poses a major obstacle to our growth and requires collective action and collective attention and concerted action. With greater emphasis on regional cooperation and strategic alliances between and among governments, the private sector, and academia on foresight and planning, our region can leverage transformative technologies to reduce vulnerabilities, withstand exogenous shocks, and accelerate socioeconomic development. The OAS network of Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies, of which the Center of Excellence at the USP is now a member, is a key component of Prospecta Americas, an inter-American foresight initiative launched by ministers and high-level authorities of science and technology of the hemisphere in 2019. The goal is to share capacities to address development challenges and provide solutions to everyday needs of the people of the region. The mandate for the center is focused on current and future scientific technological trends, to collaborate in the development of technology foresight studies, research, and data analysis to foster informed decision-making of governments, parliaments, private sector, and the wider citizenry of OAS member states. The intent is to move the decision-making beyond political whims and fancies to decisions that are steeped in science and data. One of the unique features of the OAS network is the multidisciplinary and multinational approach, capitalizing on the unique capacities of multiple countries, institutions, and individuals to co-create technological solutions to tackle issues of common interest. We now have 7 centers across the region. Our intention was to open 10. Blockchain in Mexico, artificial intelligence in Chile, artificial intelligence and robotics in Colombia, nanomaterials in Peru, the circular economy in Argentina, biotech in Panama, which will soon be on board. And these centers, and today at the University of São Paulo, our new center being designated, these centers provide access to science and technology-based solutions. Examples include robotic drones to monitor biodiversity, coastal ecosystems and fisheries for local communities applying AI models, the use of sensors with nanomaterials to assess water quality, and other applications to manage mobility, pollution, value chains, or provide more efficient services to citizens. The program over the next 3 days will set the foundation for the Center on Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies at the University of São Paulo. And again, my special thanks to Dr. Alexandra Tura for putting together such a compelling group of leaders and experts on the strategic area of ocean research to set in motion the activities of these centers. Distinguished colleagues, the Americas is a hemisphere surrounded by oceans, or rather the ocean, as the world's oceans are all connected and form a single ocean. Of the 34 OAS member states, 32 are bordered by oceans. Only Bolivia and Paraguay lack direct access to the ocean. And so while the oceans remain critical to our existence, it is under threat. Climate change, overexploitation, pollution, illegal fishing, overfishing, destructive fishing are among the threats to our oceans, as are inadequate waste management systems, industrial activities which contribute to the pollution of coastal waters and the accumulation of marine debris, including plastics. This pollution threatens marine life, ecosystems and human health. Likewise, coastal development in tourism and other human activities have led to the destruction and degradation of critical marine habitats. These ecosystems provide essential services, including coastal protection, nursery grounds for marine life, and carbon sequestrations. These are just some of the challenges that we hope this center at the University of São Paulo, in collaboration with other centers, can help us confront. No one country, institution, or community can tackle these acting alone. It is why the OAS believes so strongly in an alliance model, which capitalizes on the strengths of all of us, OAS member states, and our over 70 observer member states. Last year, at the 4th Inter-American Meeting of Ministers and High-Level Authorities of Sustainable Development, OAS member states, under the aegis of the Declaration of Nassau, committed to, and I quote, proactively conserve and sustainably manage and protect the ocean and other bodies of water, including through appropriate measures that promote responsible stewardship of the marine and freshwater ecosystem of each state, recognizing the vital role in climate change, mitigation, and adaptation, end quote. As a result, through my secretariat, we have developed multiple initiatives designed to help countries address the challenges facing the ocean. We are working closely with the high-level panel on ocean sustainability to provide support to countries in Latin America and the Caribbean in the development of sustainable ocean plans. These plans will catalyze national and regional efforts to sustainably manage marine ecosystems, enhance resilience to climate change, and foster equitable economic opportunities. We expect to secure funding from the Global Environmental Facility, the GEF, for this program. Also, with the support of the GEF, we're preparing a program to address the burgeoning problem of sargassum in the Caribbean Sea. The proliferation of sargassum is having substantial ecological, economic, and social impact on local fisheries and tourism industries. The project will establish a multi-level regional governance framework for the integrated management of sargassum to reduce its impact on marine ecosystems on communities. Finally, we are working with the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund to launch a project that aims to establish the first regional cluster, private-public academia NGO support in the Caribbean, dedicated to reducing plastic pollution, particularly in the ocean and coastal areas. The project will drive circular product and packaging research and development and circular economy business models. My Director for Sustainable Development, as I mentioned earlier, Mark Lambridis, is in the room with you and will be able to provide more details on each of these initiatives. In closing, I would like to again thank our hosts, the University of São Paulo and the Government of Brazil, and all the representatives of the Centers of Excellence who made the effort to join us here today and for your support of this initiative at the OAS. You are the pillars of the work that we are doing. I pledge the continued commitment of the OAS to work with you in building a future where innovation transcends borders and oceans, a future in which every community in the Americas, whether rural or urban, can truly harness the power of transformative technologies to drive their socio-economic growth, minimize the impact on our environment, and enjoy the quality of life that every citizen so rightly deserves. Each center can play a role in this transformative agenda. And so let's cooperate, let's collaborate, let's innovate. The future of our region very much depends on it. And again, I thank you for this opportunity. I thank the University of São Paulo. My heartfelt thanks to you. I so wish again that I could join you in São Paulo this week, but I hope that in the future I will be able to visit the center and hopefully have some regional activity that we can do together. My thanks again, and thank you, and good afternoon to all.
We now proceed with the supplementary cooperation agreement between the General Secretary of the Organization of American States and the University of São Paulo for the Center of Excellence in Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies. The document is signed by, for the General Secretary of the Organization of American States, Ms. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary for Integral Development of the Organization of the American States, and Mr. Mark Lambridge, the Director of the Department of Sustainable Development of the Organization of the American States. For the University of São Paulo, Professor Dr. Carlos Gilberto Carlotti Jr., Rector of University of São Paulo. At this time, we invite the authorities to unveil the plaque in recognition of the Center of Excellence in Ocean Innovation and Transformative Technologies of University of São Paulo as a member of the OAS Network of Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies. inteira, né? Tudo bem que eu pulei, acho que eu pulei os águas, mas depois eu me redimi, né? Eita, fiz melhor. Ajuda lá pra você pegar. Now, we announce the words of Professor Carlos Gilberto Carlotti Jr., Rector of University of São Paulo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome Ms. Kim Osborne, Executive Secretary of the Organization of American States. And thank you very much for your words. And you are welcome in the near future in our university in Brazil. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would also would like to welcome Ambassador Benoni. We have been in Washington, I guess it was last year. Deputy Marina Helu, Professor Marco Antônio Zago, President of FAPESP, Roseli de Deus Lopes, the Dean of our Institute of Advanced Studies, and Alexandre Turra, Professor of Institute of Oceanography. And I would like to thank you, Turra, for your support, for your activities, to be so active in this field to protect our ocean. And I would like you also to welcome, I don't know how to translate capitão de fragata, is captain of navy or something like this. Captain Márcio Aurélio de Lima Rocha, thank you very much to be here, and send my best to Captain, for our Admiral, Almirante? Admiral Rabelo, thank you very much to be here. Well, I would like to make it clear that the University of São Paulo is highly committed with climate change, with United Nations goals, and with sustainability. And I believe that we have a very, very important mission to protect the ocean, and now we have a strong collaboration between University of São Paulo, CNRS, we have, I don't know if you know, I guess Professor Zago said, we have International Research Center from CNRS in our institution. CNRS has 5 or 6 centers around in the world, and one of them is in our university. We have support from FAPESP, is strongly committed with the ocean, with these initiatives. We have support for the Organization of American States. We have support of lawmakers of states, of state of São Paulo. So it's a unique situation that we have right now to protect the ocean, to improve our collaboration with private and public policies for the ocean. And we have to work very hard. Of course, we have many things to do, but it's, I believe that's a very, very important situation right now in Brazil, in our university, with all this collaboration, everybody working together. Professor Turra, he has many colleagues from his institute that are committed with this ocean protection. We have very nice research at the Institute of University of São Paulo and CNRS also. So we have to work. That's our goal, to increase our knowledge of the ocean, how to protect the ocean, how to work in the ocean, but with protection. That's very important. We are not going to leave the ocean alone. We have to work in that space. It is a very important space, but of course we have to protect also in all these areas, in all these countries, not only state of São Paulo, but in Brazil and around the world. So Turra, I congratulate you for this initiative. You know you have support from the president of the university. Let's work very hard, and I believe in a few years we will have some good results for these initiatives. Thank you very much.
The University of São Paulo would like to thank all the attendees for their presence in this ceremony, and we invite the authorities to take their seats in the audience so can begin with today's presentations. I invite Professor Alexander Turra to preside the session.
Thank you everybody for the kind words and incentive to keep going this endeavor, which is not easy. Before moving to the program, I would like to emphasize that innovation or transformative technologies of solution deal with different types of approaches. For example, in this year, last month, we launched this communiqué, which was produced within the Oceans 20 Civil Society Group of Engagement on Oceans in G20. It was the first time oceans have a formal spot in G20. And this was the result of a huge effort to congregate aims, interests, wishes from different civil society groups around the world in an organized way and delivered to the leaders of G20. And in the end, in the declaration, we had the oceans there, nominally, in different parts. So the importance of the ocean was captured. So when we talk about science diplomacy, this is one example of how to do science diplomacy. And we need to innovate, including the way we dialogue with people, with institutions. And this is really important. So when we talk about the institutional arrangements that we have in the university and with other institutions like the CNRS agreement with USP and the Maison du CNRS that we have here in the university, bringing the focus also to the ocean, this makes us understand that we have, as Professor Calotti said, the moment to build something different. Perhaps we will have, not perhaps, but I wish we will have soon a law of the sea in the state of São Paulo, which is being proposed by Deputy Marina Elu, which I acknowledge for leading this process here, Marina. It's amazing that we have this push towards the ocean in our state, in dialogue with all other movements that we have all around the country, especially the law projects 1313 in the federal chamber. No, 6969 2013, the number. So it's important that we also understand that we are here because of people. And I would like to acknowledge all the effort of the Institute of Advanced Studies, and in the name of Sandra Sedini, recognize the effort of all the staff of the Institute of Advanced Studies and the Institute of Oceanography, and also the team of the UNESCO Chair for Ocean Sustainability here, represented by Luciana, and not one, but two Moniques, that are helping us to create this process. So we are talking about a top-down approach, but also a bottom-up approach. And as Kim said, with her kind and strong words, we need to build together things that match somehow the international and the national agendas of the ocean. We have said about SDG 14, about the Ocean Decade. We have the United Nations Ocean Conference next year in Nice. We have COP30 with a unique possibility to promote a dialogue between the green and the blue Amazon in Belém, and also to see the ocean through other lenses in different ways. Today we have the opportunity to have examples on how to look at the ocean. We have invitees from the Centers of Excellence of OAS around the Americas, talking about their centers and how they could relate that themes with the ocean. We also have the possibility to to listen to the coordinators of the pillars, of some pillars of the CNRS IRC center here, that will talk about their centers and their relationship with the ocean. And we will have the possibility to start a movement, a process here, to think about the human rights at the ocean, which Professor Wagner Menezes will share with us. The possibility to innovate, including the way we see the ocean and we see our relationship with the ocean, and starting a process to be finalized in Nice next year in France, in the United Nations Ocean Conference, with a huge convergence of thoughts, of energy, of thinking towards a different ocean, a different planet. So that's our intention. So I will start the program, giving the floor to my dear friend, Professor Wagner Menezes from the Law School of University of São Paulo, to present the initial steps of this important process. Please, Wagner, the floor is yours.
Oh, sorry. Dear President, this section, dear colleagues, authorities, and attendees, good afternoon, good evening. The proposal by the Ocean Chair to draft a formal declaration on human rights at sea was presented during a meeting held at the University of São Paulo at the Maison do CNRS on October 25, 2024. The event was attended by Ambassador Olivier Poivre-Davor, the French President's Special Envoy for the Oceans Conference, who discussed the event's agenda with 15 researchers. Among the important topics under consideration, such as the law of the sea, technology, and marine genetic resources, the idea of a declaration was proposed as a symbolic and strategic opportunity for the world to reaffirm the importance of protecting human rights at sea during the decade of the oceans. The initiative aims to be at the forefront of discussions at the Oceans Conference to be held in Nice in 2025. At the end of the meeting, Ambassador Olivier Poivre-Davor, recognizing the significance of the proposal, requested that the Ocean Chair prepare a well-grounded draft of the declaration and foster its discussion with the academic and scientific community, civil society, and states. Today, at the seminar on ocean innovation and transformative technologies, chaired by Professor Alexander Turra, and attended by academic and political authorities, I have the honor to present this proposal. It will be available to the entire society with universal access through the UNESCO Chair website in 4 languages: Portuguese, Spanish, French, and English. The proposed declaration is a non-binding document, a type of soft law, inspired by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development, and the Sustainable Development Goals. Its significance lies in the urgency of establishing international paradigms for the protection of human rights at sea. The draft declaration, composed of a preamble and a catalog of 20 principles, recognize that human rights are universal and must be fully respected both at sea and on land. It also emphasizes the need for a more effective global regime to ensure the observance of human rights at sea, underscoring that no scientific advancement, achievement, or alliance will hold value if it takes place in an environment where the fundamental rights of human beings are violated. Among the 20 principles, the draft includes measures such as inclusion and diversity at sea, rights of maritime workers, assistance to people in distress at sea, protection against trafficking and human exploitation, rights of refugees and maritime migrants, cultural protection of traditional communities and peoples, food security, rights of fishing communities, among others. The document aims to achieve universal participation and engagement. Therefore, I invite today everyone to know this proposal and to share it widely. Thank you very much. Let me show 1 minute this document here. We prepare, and the declaration, here is an article, and so here is the draft. Here is a preamble that we prepare. Sorry if you scroll fastly, but you let to show you. And here you have the principles. One, two, three. Join us. Thank you.
So this is the start of a process. Like I said, we have a very good start, and then we are now seeking for collaboration, isn't it, Wagner, to have more inputs on the idea, on the document, and then have people and institutions supporting it so that it gain track, so that it can be launched in the United Nations Ocean Conference. So thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the first panel. So I'd like to invite my dear friend Cesar Parga from OAS to chair this session and invite all our invitees to bring their presentations. Please, join us. Okay. Hey, you may say their names here so that they... Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Turner, and I would invite all the representatives from the Centers of Excellence if they can join us here in the front, and they can take space here when they present. So just to recap, we have representatives from the different centers that are part of this network. We have Dr. Jorge Foloni, who's the Secretary of the Environment and Circular Economy, and the head of the Center of Excellence on Innovation and Transformative Technologies for Circular Economy in Córdoba, Argentina. We have Dr. Jafer Manuel Paz Almentero from Audacia. He's the Center of Excellence on Artificial Intelligence and Robotics at Simón Bolívar University in Barranquilla, Colombia. We also have Doctora Maria Quintana. She's the Director of Physical Engineering at the National University of Engineering of Peru. She's also leading research and industrial development related to the CITED program, and she's representing the Center on Advanced Materials and Nanotechnology of Peru. We also have with us Dr. Ricardo Leonard Cruz. He's the director of the Institute of Scientific Research and High-Tech Services of Panama, Center of Excellence on Biotech and Health Sciences. We hope to have Alejandro as well, Alejandro Mandujano Robledo, who's representing the Center of Blockchain from the state of Hidalgo, Mexico. He's leading the Government Blockchain Association in Mexico. So I think, Dr. Quintana, when you can join us, don't rush. But before we start, we want to really thank the university, Dr. Tura, the governor of Brazil, for this opportunity. This session will try to give you a glimpse on the Centers of Excellence, the process, what they do, what are the capacities and capabilities to collaborate, but also to start the connection on the different technologies and applications related to the ocean. So if I may, I'll go and do a very quick introduction of what the Centers of Excellence are in general and where they come from. Secretary Osborne already gave you a sense of this process, but just wanted to highlight that the decision and the process has been determined by the Ministers of Science and Technology. There was a need and an effort by all member states to try to bring cooperation and collaboration around this Prospecta Americas platform. As it was mentioned, this is an important space, and I would like to make emphasis on the concept of technology foresight, that we are dealing with these technologies not only thinking about what we can do now, but also building capacities and ideas on how to use foresight to understand the impact in the future, and how can we build capacities, human, institutional, and collaboration to face the different challenges. The other element is how the scientific communities of the Americas can work together and build these opportunities, and then inform public policy making at all levels for our countries. The centers start with the concept of 10 transformative technologies that what ministers identified, and the objective from the beginning has been to lead research and foresight studies on these transformative technologies, map the current and future trends of the different technologies and application, and also build a community to provide technical assistance, support, training, and exchange among the experts of the region. All member states of the OAS are invited to host centers of excellence, and the instruction that the ministers provided was to build on what exists already in the region. That means connecting and co-creating together based on the capacities of the centers. We already cover what are the centers that are already part of the network. We hope, as it was indicated by Ambassador Belli, to have more countries and more centers in the near future. But this is just a quick timeline, so you know from 2019 to 2021 to today, we have these centers joining. And just what are we working on in terms of the centers? Each of the centers will provide you some of their specific lines of research that they're working on. And the idea of bringing the centers together is to consolidate this regional network of experts on transformative technologies, but also design and implement solutions using all these opportunities and collaboration. And the model is partnerships and sharing resources and linking capabilities. These are the centers, and just quickly, what do the centers do as well? So there are some examples of what the centers have been doing recently. In the case of CENI of Chile, who unfortunately couldn't make it for this session, but CENI has been a very important partner to develop capacities on artificial intelligence. They have developed the first Latin American index on AI. It's been expanded and incorporated in other countries, including Caribbean nations, and the capacities of CENIA are in several research spaces of artificial intelligence. They also collaborated in the different political and policy forums at the OAS in the dialogues on artificial intelligence, and they'll be participating in the upcoming ministerial meeting that I'll mention very quickly. Other events and capacity building activities have been done. You'll hear from the Center of Argentina in Cordoba on circular economy and some of the initiatives and capacities they have and that can be applicable on many fields, including oceans. We also had the opportunity to host a similar ceremony and event and collaboration in the ecosystem of Barranquilla. The center in Colombia will hear in a few minutes. They are focused on artificial intelligence and robotics. And one of the ideas behind this effort is that not only the center, but also their partners and networks and their communities are part of this effort. So it's a all-hands approach to this effort, and we invite other countries. I know this program is being made available online, so if other countries and other centers would like to participate, to host a center or collaborate with existing centers, the opportunity is available. Just to finalize, I wanted to mention that in parallel to this program, the OAS, based on the mandate from ministers, launched a youth academy on transformative technologies. So there's opportunities and courses to learn online and also acquire certifications on different technologies, including artificial intelligence, augmented reality, coding, deep learning. So I'm going to run quickly. They are available in Portuguese in the case of Brazil, also Spanish and English and French in some cases. And these are courses that have no cost, but are a good platform to start careers and opportunities or entrepreneurial efforts around these technologies. So with that introduction, just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to discuss the centers. I'm going to invite our first participation, and we'll start with Panama. Dr. Ricardo Lenar Cruz, if you can join us, please, to start the presentations. And you can do it from your chair or from the podium, however you prefer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Turra. Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to thank the authorities of the university and also the authorities of the OEA with this beautiful initiative. You know that Panama is a very small country and is surrounded by the sea. You can go from the Atlantic to the Pacific in less than an hour. So in the same way, we are very much affected by changes in the sea. And we were commenting this morning that the government of Panama has been investing a lot in relocating whole communities from some of the islands to the mainland, because the islands are disappearing right now because of the rise in the sea level. I don't see this happening in many places, but this is a dramatic effect of how things are changing in the sea. And we are delighted to be here. This is a tremendously relevant issue for us. I would like to present today the Institute of Scientific Research and High Technology Services. We are not a university, we are a research institute under the umbrella of the National Secretary of Science, Technology and Innovation. We are located in the city of Panama, very close to the canal, and you can see, I don't think I have a pointer, but we are one of those buildings to the right, and the whole area is the City of Knowledge campus. City of Knowledge is a congregation, it's a private foundation, but it congregates a lot of universities and different institutes from the state and United Nations institutions. So it's a perfect environment for research. And our institute is about 20 years old now, right now. And our institute is an AIP. It's a different, it's a very innovative way of dealing with science in Panama because of the limitations that we usually had in Panama for public institutions to do science, a lot of bureaucracy and things like that all Latin American countries are used to. But our institute is a different legal figure. It's an AIP that allows us to move quickly in terms of science. And because of the law, we have to be under one public institution, and our institution is the National Secretary. Our main institution is the National Secretary of Science and Technology, CNRS. So our objectives are scientific research, capacity building in terms of training of new scientists, because there is no enough scientists in Panama. The rate compared to the population of Panama, which is very small, but still we have very small number of researchers. We also offer technology-based services, and we are going to see in a minute some of those. In that order, that's our order of priorities, number 1, number 2, number 3. In scientific research, we are a biosciences institute. We work mainly in biosciences, particular biomedicine, biotechnology, biodiversity. In biodiversity, because Panama is one of the mega diverse regions in the world, I see how many biologists produce a lot of results in terms of new species every time they go out and they return to the lab and they have already 10, 20 new species. And our institute is exploiting a different variant of this, is related to drug discovery. If you can imagine that biodiversity is still largely unknown, when you look at the chemical diversity, it's even more unknown. So we are, in a sense, we are working in the direction of characterizing this chemical diversity. But we are working in a number of things. We are a small institute for your standards. We have about 34 researchers in total, including laboratory technicians, scientists, and all the support personnel. We have about 100 people in our institute, in our building. And we are working in vaccine research. We are working in natural products and drug discovery. This is one of our main topics for the last 15 years. We are working in neurodegenerative and age-related chronic diseases, in particular Alzheimer and Parkinson. We are working, of course, in infectious diseases. Panama is a very hot and humid country. It's hot all the time, and it's humid almost all the time of the year. That means there's a lot of fungi, there's a lot of parasites, tropical parasites, and we are working on dengue, SARS-CoV-2, tuberculosis, malaria, leishmania, trypanosoma, toxoplasmosis, you name it. Imagine one parasite is there. So it's a very important topic for us. We also work in biotechnology, in particular in the biology and control of tropical parasites. Again, Chagas, which is trypanosoma, malaria, leishmaniasis, toxoplasmosis. We work in biodiversity, in biology and ecology of social insects, bioprospection, system ecology and biotechnology of fungi. We have 3 specialists in fungi, researchers working in fungi and developing new molecules and bioproducts out of those fungi. And of course, we are also working in molecular ecology of vectors, in particular mosquitoes. There's a lot of mosquitoes in Panama. There's a lot of arboviruses in Panama transmitted by mosquitoes. And now we have an outbreak of dengue, for example. It's a periodical kind of behavior. But we also have chikungunya, we have Zika, we have a number of things. Now there is a report of Oropouche virus. So you can imagine a lot of tropical parasites and diseases. So our main approach was to drug discovery has been for a number of years scanning all the biodiversity, looking for new activities against those particular parasites, leishmania, malaria, dengue, toxoplasma. And we have developed over a number of years all the bioassays required to look for those activities. And we have been able to cover the whole process from sampling from the biodiversity, making all the taxonomy and systematics and bioisolation, bioassay guided isolation, testing on those different bioassays, all the way through structural elucidation. We have a very good group of natural product chemists, and they have been using mass spectrometry and NMR tools for developing this scanning of the biodiversity and developing new ways of obtaining these products. So for a number of years, the drug discovery programs in Panama were focused on terrestrial plants. That already was done a number of years ago in collaboration with the Tropical Research Institute, Smithsonian, in Panama, which is an American institute. But once we got our researchers, they started developing a new way, is looking at marine sources. And at the moment, they are looking at several different marine sources which involve corals, algae, microorganisms, different kinds of fungi. And without saying so in our slides, we have been working for a number of years already in marine biotechnology. And this is our idea of how we can contribute to these efforts that you have been exposing today. Now we are incorporating a new approaches, which is using genomics and using a number of tools for doing genome-based discovery of these different molecules. We are working a lot with different universities. We are not an academic institution, but we work with a number of universities abroad and in the country. And we have a number of graduated students in PhD programs. Regarding services, we provide a number of services that are related to our facilities. And this is because we have an animal facility which is unique in the country. It's a research animal facility where we kept mice and rats in conditions, in high quality conditions for research. We also have genomics and bioinformatics new facilities, mass spectrometry and NMR, and scanning electron microscopy And this is because of the time now we are offering all these facilities to these programs, and drug discovery is one of the things, drug discovery out of the seas, and the seas biodiversity is one of our proposals for this interesting initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and our thank you to Dr. Ricardo and COMCYT for the support and the collaboration. We are going to ask now Dr. Jorge Foloni to please make the presentation on the Center of Excellence on Circular Economy of Argentina and Cordoba, and we'll keep it to 10 minutes each of the presentation. Thank you for Panama for setting us the path for success. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon. You must apologize me because I will speak Spanish, but I will speak slow. My name is Jorge Foloni, secretario de Ambiente de la ciudad de Córdoba, Argentina. Tengo el honor de llevar adelante el Centro de Excelencia en Economía Circular. ¿Qué es la economía circular? La economía circular, sobre todo, es un nuevo modelo económico inclusivo y sostenible con el ambiente. Lo que buscamos día a día en nuestra ciudad, donde hemos generado un modelo de economía circular, es lograr que todos los procesos económicos sean amigables con el ambiente, y donde cada uno de los residuos que se van generando en los modelos económicos se transformen en insumos de nuevos procesos económicos. Con ello logramos que los productos o los recursos naturales finitos tengan más vida útil y sean más sostenibles con el ambiente. El Centro de Excelencia de Economía Circular nació dentro del programa de la OEA Prospecta Americas. Esta iniciativa toma a nuestra ciudad como modelo de economía circular para compartir experiencias con otros países y otras ciudades de las Américas vinculadas a la economía circular. Buscamos proyectos de colaboración entre las ciudades y, sobre todo, adoptar tecnologías transformadoras unidas al ambiente. Nos unimos a los 7 centros de excelencia que existen en las Américas. Córdoba hoy tiene un modelo público-privado, por eso tenemos un clúster de economía circular, una gran mesa de trabajo con empresas privadas, el gobierno municipal, el gobierno local, el sector del conocimiento, las universidades y sobre todo las cooperativas de trabajadores. Por eso reitero que la economía circular es un modelo económico, inclusivo y sostenible con el ambiente, pues es generador de nuevos empleos verdes en el modelo. Nosotros en nuestra ciudad hemos diseñado numerosos institutos dentro del ámbito del gobierno municipal. No solamente tenemos una Secretaría de Ambiente y Economía Circular, sino tenemos una Universidad Libre del Ambiente, un ente municipal BioCórdoba dedicado a la política verde de nuestra ciudad, un ente municipal Córdoba Obras y Servicios, también dedicado al ambiente en nuestra ciudad, el clúster de la economía circular que une a los distintos sectores de nuestra ciudad, y hemos llevado adelante la creación de la única y primera escuela municipal de economía circular. En esa escuela, la gente, los niños, los jubilados, los distintos representantes de gobierno pueden ver cómo los residuos se transforman en insumos y productos circulares. En esta escuela trabajan personas que antes trabajaban de la recolección de la basura y hoy tienen un empleo formal separando los residuos para que nosotros allí lo podamos transformar en bancos, que luego esos bancos van a los jardines de infantes de nuestras escuelas, en madera plástica que van a construir nuestros bancos, que van a nuestras plazas y parques, ecolentes, que son lentes que van a ser luego donados para las personas que no tienen recursos para adquirir sus lentes y son hechos con tapita de plástico de botellas que antes se enterraban. Nuestra ciudad nace dentro de la OEA con este hermoso convenio en septiembre de 2023 con Kim Osborne y en abril de este 2024 fuimos honrados con la designación como Centro de Excelencia junto a nuestro alcalde Daniel Pacerini. Promovemos prácticas sostenibles con el ambiente destinadas a lograr que se consuma mucho menos nuestros recursos naturales, se reduzca el impacto ambiental de la huella de carbono, fundamentalmente producto de la emisión de gases de efecto invernadero, y propulsamos que la tecnología camine de la mano de la economía circular. Y fundamentalmente buscamos la inclusión social de los sectores que hoy son marginales en la ciudad, por eso buscamos la generación de empleo verde. Lo hacemos conjuntamente con el sector privado, sumamos empresas privadas y tratamos de que cambien su modelo de producción dentro de cada una de las empresas, para que piensen cómo dar una solución a temas vinculados, por ejemplo, al packaging. Por eso el ecodiseño resulta clave nosotros en la formación y la concientización ambiental. Buscamos el cambio de paradigma en nuestra ciudad, en nuestro país y en las Américas. Abandonar la economía lineal que existe en todas las ciudades, que consiste en la generación y consumo masivo de los recursos naturales y luego en el desecho y el enterramiento. Procuramos que todos los recursos naturales tengan una segunda oportunidad y se reconviertan y transformen mediante el reciclado en nuevos productos circulares. Somos referente en nuestro país en economía circular. Buscamos entonces responsabilidad ambiental de todas las empresas privadas y de los distintos gobiernos de nuestras ciudades, junto con la innovación tecnológica. Por eso para nosotros es muy importante las alianzas con los otros centros de excelencias. Hoy estamos trabajando en la supresión de las bolsas de plástico y para eso solicitamos que el Centro de Excelencia de Perú, especializado en nanotecnología, nos ayude también en buscar otras alternativas a las bolsas de plástico. Por eso es muy importante la colaboración entre los centros de excelencias y para nosotros es fundamental la educación y la capacitación para crear y formar nuevos agentes de cambio. El impacto social es muy importante, buscamos generar nuevo empleo, empleo verde en nuestra ciudad y en cada una de las ciudades que se asocien o sean parte de nuestro centro de excelencia. Buscamos por eso la cooperación regional mediante convenios con otras ciudades para poder modelizar este centro de excelencia en distintas ciudades. Tenemos distintos programas y metas específicas y todo lo vamos a ir concretando a lo largo de este camino de la mano de la Organización de Estados Americanos. Simplemente darles un pantallazo de lo que es el Centro de Excelencia en Economía Circular en nuestra ciudad, que es un modelo exitoso y que queremos replicar a las distintas ciudades de las Américas. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias thank you very much, Dr. Jorge Foloni. We appreciate the support of the City of Córdoba and the Center of Excellence on Circular Economy. And as you can see, each of the centers has a very unique setup in terms of the institutions behind each of the centers. But that's one of the elements that makes the network important in terms of bringing different philosophies and collaboration opportunities. Next, we'll invite Dr. Jafer Manuel Páez Almentero from Audacia. Dr. Jafer is going to share with us the work of the Center of Excellence on Artificial Intelligence and Robotics at the University Simón Bolívar in Barranquilla, Colombia. And thank you for the 10 minutes for Argentina's presentation.
Gracias nuevamente. Aprovecharé esta oportunidad también para hablar en español. Para mí es un placer estar con ustedes acá presentándoles el Centro Audacia, el Centro de Excelencia en Inteligencia Artificial y Robótica de la Universidad Simón Bolívar. Quiero mostrarles un poco de dónde estamos ubicados, quiénes somos, cómo trabajamos. Nosotros estamos ubicados en Barranquilla, Colombia. Tenemos un edificio, un distrito de innovación que cuenta con varios pisos. En uno de ellos, el cuarto piso, tenemos un espacio dedicado con 1.200 metros cuadrados en donde empresas, colaboradores, estudiantes co-crean las tecnologías que impactan directamente a la comunidad. Nosotros nos dedicamos a hacer este tipo de co-creación junto a las empresas porque es la forma en que hemos encontrado en donde el beneficio es mucho más directo. Tenemos alrededor de 30 investigadores activos en diferentes áreas. Tenemos investigadores relacionados con ingeniería mecatrónica, ingeniería civil, ingeniería mecánica, tenemos doctores, fisioterapeutas, hay ingenieros en sistemas, hay diseñadores gráficos, diseñadores industriales, y todas estas personas co-crean junto con las empresas estas soluciones que nos han permitido desarrollar e implementar más de 300 prototipos, más de 300 desarrollos e implementaciones a lo largo de alrededor de 5 años que tiene Audacia. Esto nos ha permitido obtener 4 patentes otorgadas. Tenemos alrededor de 27 patentes en examen de fondo en este momento y más de 20 publicaciones de alto impacto. Nosotros nos dedicamos a impulsar el uso de la inteligencia artificial y la robótica como motor que transforma e impacta de manera beneficiosa a la sociedad. Nos enfocamos en soluciones prácticas, soluciones que enfocadas en problemas reales, en problemas de la vida real de cada una de las comunidades. Por ejemplo, nosotros cuando desarrollamos algún proyecto seguimos esta línea de pasos. Primero identificamos las necesidades. Por ejemplo, hablando de un proyecto que estamos trabajando en la actualidad, en el cual estamos implementando un marco integral para la inclusión financiera y sostenible de pescadores. Podemos decir que hacemos encuestas, hacemos visitas, hacemos unas revisiones periódicas con nuestros aliados. En este caso, nuestro aliado para este proyecto está siendo una ONG, Goal Colombia, y los pescadores están ubicados en Tasajera, un municipio cercano a Barranquilla. Luego de eso, nosotros seleccionamos las herramientas, tanto de software como de hardware. Seleccionamos, por ejemplo, en este caso buscamos que los pescadores logren optimizar sus recorridos, logren encontrar mejores zonas de pescas, logren llevar a cabo su tarea hasta tal punto que eso les permite ingresar al mercado financiero. Luego de seleccionar esas herramientas, desarrollamos todo lo relacionado con herramientas de registro automático de datos climáticos, consumos de combustible, zonas de pesca, formularios digitales. Luego hacemos la integración de este tipo de solución, hacemos un despliegue y monitoreo constante. También realizamos capacitaciones a lo largo de todo el proceso para permitir que estos pescadores entiendan la tecnología que se les está suministrando, entiendan cómo son los inputs, cómo son los outputs de la IA con la que estarían interactuando, por ejemplo, y haríamos al final una evaluación de impactos y ajustes total del sistema. Nosotros tenemos varias líneas temáticas, por ejemplo, aprendizaje automático, visión por computadora, procesamiento de lenguaje natural, sistemas de recomendación, robótica inteligente, toda la parte de ética y gobernanza. En implementaciones de IA para la salud y medicina tenemos bastantes implementaciones también, interfaz humano-máquina y seguridad de la IA. Hay ciertos proyectos que se han desarrollado, por ejemplo, aquí podemos mencionar, hay uno relacionado con medición en entornos submarinos, donde ha permitido optimizar y agilizar las inspecciones científicas que se realizan en San Andrés. San Andrés es una isla de Colombia, que contiene la reserva Seaflower, una de las más grandes del mundo, tiene la reserva de arrecife más grande del mundo. Para el mismo ecosistema se desarrolló un vehículo de remoto teleoperado y se le desarrolló a su vez un dispositivo para sujeción de muestras. Este dispositivo ha sido patentado a diferencia de sus contrapartes comerciales. Este dispositivo utiliza materiales mucho más económicos y es mucho más fácil de construir, un 1 o 2% del costo de un dispositivo comercial similar. Para la Armada Nacional de Colombia también se le diseñó un sistema inteligente de una botella sonográfica que permite tomar muestras de agua a profundidades de hasta 200 metros. Este dispositivo, como ya les comentaba, cuenta con ya una patente, ayuda en todos los procesos que se dan en toma de muestras submarinas y apoya las misiones científicas en San Andrés. Este dispositivo, la botella sonográfica, ha sido probado por la Armada Nacional en San Andrés también, y cuenta con la capacidad de llevar 6 litros de agua en 2 contenedores independientes cada uno. Toda esta tecnología han desarrollado con un costo, una fracción muy pequeña comparado con sus alternativas comerciales. Bueno, en Audacia creemos que cuando la tecnología, cuando la inteligencia artificial y cuando los profesionales se unen para encontrar soluciones alternativas, pues el océano tiene una segunda oportunidad para prosperar. Bueno, muchas gracias.
Thank you very much to Dr. Jaffer and Audacia. As you saw, that they're very pragmatic. It's a relatively new center. He mentioned 4 years of existence, but they have already 300 solutions developed in collaboration with communities, private sector, and visiting the center. It's, I would say, it's a special place because you see a lot of applications that are solutions, but also are conscious of the cost and the applicability in the community. So I think that's very unique experience, and thank you to Audacia for the presentation and for the collaboration with other centers. Next, we're going to invite Dr. Maria Quintana from the UNI in National University of Engineering of Peru to please share the presentation. And thank you to Audacia as well for the 10 minutes. And you'll know that 10 minutes is very little time for the centers to share all they do, but the idea is to at least pique your curiosity to try to connect the dots and identify what can be done together with the center here in Brazil. Yeah, coffee break is a good opportunity, and then there's tomorrow for those that are here. Feel free to reach out to any here at the front table and also share your experiences and opportunities. This is what the purpose of the program is.
Which one is this one? Do you remember the name? No. No. Not this one?
And we'll make sure that we share the presentations as well. So I know some of you are taking notes, but it's very helpful to get the information. So as much as we can share with everyone, we'll be able to ask our presenters to share it with all of you. So we'll distribute with the university here and the team with Dr. Tura.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we're ready.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I don't let my friends alone. I'm more confident with Spanish than English. Voy a presentarles lo que hacemos en el Centro de Materiales, de Materiales Avanzados y Nanotecnología en Lima, Perú. Lo trabajamos dentro de la Universidad Nacional de Ingeniería, que se encuentra en Lima. He venido en representación del director del Centro de Excelencia. Nuestro Centro de Excelencia tiene poco tiempo de creación, fue antes de la pandemia, y básicamente nos dedicamos a hacer materiales. Materiales generalmente son utilizados en diferentes áreas, y el centro consta de aproximadamente 15 grupos de investigación que solo se dedican a hacer materiales. Son grupos liderados por químicos, por físicos, por ingenieros, y todos hacemos nanomateriales. ¿Cuál es nuestra visión que tenemos sobre nuestro centro, no? Queremos promover justamente la aplicación de los nanomateriales, la investigación en nanomateriales en la región. Y, por supuesto, queremos ser una referencia tanto nacional como regional en la fabricación, análisis, caracterización de materiales avanzados. Hemos construido un lugar donde prácticamente tenemos ya experiencia en la fabricación de materiales y a la vez de nanomateriales. El centro, como decía, es de reciente creación, pero los grupos de investigación tienen mucho más tiempo haciendo trabajos relacionados a los nanomateriales. Inclusive yo trabajé ya hace 15 años en Suecia haciendo síntesis de nanomateriales para aplicarlos en celdas solares. Y así como yo, son varios doctores que conforman este centro de investigación. Entonces, se trata no solamente de hacer los materiales, sino ver en dónde se van a aplicar, ver hasta cierto punto la optimización de los costos y de la eficiencia, ¿no? Y coordinamos con diferentes grupos de investigación, no solamente en Lima, sino a nivel nacional, y buscamos también relacionarnos con otras instituciones que hagan desarrollo de nanomateriales. Y por supuesto también se hace el entrenamiento para el uso de ciertos equipos de los jóvenes de posgrado generalmente. Y en este momento tenemos 2 programas doctorales que se están llevando a cabo. Son más o menos 30 becas que se han dado. Y estos jóvenes están trabajando en este centro. Y, como repito, materiales. Y contamos actualmente con equipos de alta gama microscopios electrónicos que nos permiten justamente poder identificar si es que estamos sintetizando un nanomaterial o no. Tenemos un microscopio de emisión termoiónica, como lo pueden ver, y también tenemos uno de efecto de campo. Con ambos equipos podemos ver tranquilamente materiales inorgánicos, materiales que no tienen vida. Pero cuando necesitamos ver microorganismos, virus, bacterias, se puede hacer un tratamiento para poder visualizarlos con el microscopio electrónico. O sea, no es imposible ver algunos pequeños bichos dentro de los microscopios, solo que hay que hacer el tratamiento previo para poder visualizarlos. Y cada uno de estos microscopios electrónicos cuenta también para identificar de qué se compone este material. O sea, si tiene silicio, si tiene fierro, y lo hacemos mediante espectroscopía de energía dispersiva o EDS. Entonces podemos identificar qué sustancias, qué elementos componen una determinada muestra, inclusive contaminantes, ¿no? Y algunas empresas mineras pues envían sus muestras para que podamos analizarlas. Aparte de eso, tenemos equipos de caracterización como el difractómetro de rayos X, también contamos con equipos de termogravimetría, de infrarrojo, y con microscopía de fuerza atómica, que está acoplada con un espectrómetro Raman. Este equipo de fabricación rusa nos permite ver a la vez una muestra, tanto su estructura orgánica como su morfología. Entonces es un equipo bastante avanzado. Podemos ver a nivel molecular prácticamente una muestra. Es uno de los equipos que nos llegó justo antes de la cuarentena. Llegaron a entrenarnos, o sea, diciembre, enero, y en febrero, marzo ya estábamos cerrando todo. El equipo se quedó inactivo por varios meses. Menos mal que lo hemos retomado cuando ha vuelto a abrir la universidad después de unos 3 meses más o menos. Está operativo y ahorita estamos viendo varias muestras, ¿no? Y nos pidieron un poco ver qué podíamos hacer en colaboración con este nuevo centro de excelencia en oceanografía. Y conocemos, nosotros en Perú tenemos el Océano Pacífico en toda la costa y tenemos también muchos problemas y va a ser muy importante poder interactuar con el actual centro que se acaba de formar en oceanografía. Un problema bien grande son los microplásticos. Pensamos que justamente nosotros podríamos, lo doy como idea, poder desarrollar una colaboración en el tema, porque tenemos cómo caracterizar esos plásticos que están en el mar, ver cómo poder degradarlos o de repente tener una solución para este problema. Contamos con más equipos para hacer caracterizaciones, tenemos medidores de partículas que nos pueden dar inclusive a nivel no solo micro, sino nanométrico, analizadores de porosidad, que podrían marcarse dentro de lo que les menciono como idea para poder interactuar entre ambos centros. Tenemos otros equipos también, como repito, básicamente son de caracterización. Hasta microscopios electroquímicos y reactores que nos permiten, de nivel piloto, fabricar nanopartículas. Entonces, otra idea que también estábamos pensando podría relacionarse o podríamos trabajar en conjunto es que nosotros hemos desarrollado ciertos materiales como filtros. Acá en Brasil han investigado muchísimo sobre el grafeno. Nosotros también hemos trabajado, inclusive en colaboración con grupos de investigación de Brasil, con grafeno, y hemos obtenido materiales, filtros, que nos permiten remover metales pesados con el uso de este grafeno sobre arena, grafeno sobre diatomitas. creo que podría ser un punto de partida, vuelvo a decirlo, es una idea que ya nosotros hemos venido desarrollando. En la fotografía estoy ahí con estudiantes a 4.200 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en el segundo lago más grande del Perú, el lago de Junín, haciendo remoción de metales pesados en el lago. Diseñamos un sistema con el cual colocábamos unas boyas con el material autónomo utilizando paneles solares y íbamos limpiando el agua del lago. Y bueno, eso sería todo, que ha sido bien corta. Y ahí están los investigadores que conforman el CEMAT. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctora María Quintana. And we appreciate the 10 minutes as well. But last but not least, we invite Dr. Alejandro Mandujano from the Government Blockchain Association and representing the Center of Excellence of Blockchain in Hidalgo, Mexico.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize because they told me that the presentation was going to be in Spanish, so it's in Spanish, but I'll do it in English. And if someone wants it in Portuguese, just let me tell you, I just try to insert it with you. So, my name is Alejandro Mandujano. I'm representative of the Council of Science, Technology, and Innovation from the state of Hidalgo, headed by Dr. Francisco Patiño, and responsible for the OAS Center of Excellence of Blockchain, Dr. Osvaldo Delgado. In the recent year, we discovered that there was something wrong with blockchain. Most of the solutions developed just vanishes in very few time. So we started just making a research in what were the main reasons that solutions disappeared. And we know that there was something missing. We detected the problem, but we didn't find who will be responsible for solving that. And we asked the UN, the United Nations, for the recommendation, and we managed to get the UN pension fund headed by Dino Dell'Acchio. And he told us that the UN made a research in 2018 throughout the world trying to find out which organizations or associations have just developed standards or something that guide best practices, something like that, because they only found regulations, a lot of regulations all over the world just to control, but nothing to guide the development of blockchain solutions. So they recommend us to go to the GBA, which is a Government Blockchain Association. It's a non-profit organization, international, with more than 60 countries, with almost 7,000 members from public and private sectors. Their main objective is that they develop standards and best practices. So it was also recommended by UN that they include in the Internet Governance Forum. They created a dynamic coalition, which is a working group named BAS, which is Blockchain Assurance and Standardization, in which GBA and the UN lead the group. In this group, they share with all the communities in the world freely the standards. And also they had the latest alliance with the Inter-American Development Bank, BitLab, and LACNet, because LACNet has a blockchain ecosystem in Latin America with more than 200 solutions already working. But they are not trusted, they are not being assessed. So the main idea is that GBA gets in the position to assess those solutions and also guide the governments, because they required training, because they don't pick blockchain because they don't know it. So they prefer to go back to Web2 solutions. So with this training and with the alliance with all these organizations, we focus on training the governments to let them know what blockchain is, what this can be used, and the problem, so they can just be proficient enough to launch tenants, worldwide tenants, international tenants, so they can just develop blockchain projects. Why do we require standards? Because that's the only way that we can have a base of everything, a framework. It's different, quite different from the ISO standard, because the ISO are most general. The blockchain standard is a framework that guides you through different steps. so you can develop a trusted blockchain solution. So we have, as GBA, a worldwide strategy for the region also. We started, all the standards are always in English, and nobody cares. So unfortunately, in the Latin America region, and most of the countries in the world, 70% of the citizens do not speak English. So if you don't know English, you cannot play the golf, right? Because you know the rules, you know how to talk on that and analyze things. So we developed a blockchain content group in Spanish just to serve 950 million people in the region, in 36 countries, 3 continents in this year. We already have the standards in Spanish freely to be used to all the members of the community. And on October, we started a Portuguese content group. We already have pages in LinkedIn for GBA Portuguese and GBA Spanish of America, because it's important that we just help people understand the standards and develop things. Because, in Argentina, in Peru, in Panama, in Brazil, and Chile, there are lots of projects of blockchain. But guess what? According to the New York Times in 2023, they launched a research in which they say that the average life of a blockchain solution is 18 months. And you analyze things, and those solutions, they have perfect, clear goals and objectives, but the issue is that they lack of foundations. So for reinforcing the inclusion, we are also developing a project to use the standards in Spanish to translate it into Braille, so that we can have people seeing impaired people just see and touch what blockchain technology is. Because unfortunately, in our countries, there's no importance for them. So we need to guide them and give them the support. So what are we doing in this 2024? Is it Inova? Well, we built the first postgraduate course of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin that lasted 6 months. And now we have projects, developed projects for, the OAS says there's an objective to reinforce democracy. So we developed a prototype to have a blockchain solution for elections from end to end, from the register of the voters to the voting side and the conclusions and the results in only one solution. That will reduce costs, get more efficiency, have trust, and also have undisputable elections. So it was developed by Raimundo Suarez from Mexico. He also has a layer 1, a prototype, and a blockchain. And it was handed to the governor of Hidalgo, so they can be presented to the proposal to the government of Mexico, so they can have funds to develop that. We also have a huge problem with environment, and last year there was an event in Mexico. There's a water security for sustainable future. It was held in Mexico, in the University of Mexico. And we all heard about the problems we have with water. No one is doing anything about water, so we just developed a water tokenization system, also presented and handed to the governor of Hidalgo, and that was done from a collaborator in Chile named Gabriel Figueroa. For 2025, we're just developing 4 labs for different blockchain protocols and Bitcoin, so that people can understand, students and professionals and companies start knowing what these protocols are, because not all the protocols are for the same thing. We're using multi-purpose or multi-professional blockchain courses, and also we are always complaining about there's no laws, but we develop a course for specialized for attorneys, PhDs in law, and magistrates. We also make an alliance with Galter, which is also head of the International Law Tech Consortium, based in India. They have a group of 200 lawyers specialized on disruptive technologies, and we need to have their guidance. Dr. Mahendra Bandari is one of our supporters. We are also starting to make agreements with universities like the University of public universities in Hidalgo and institutes in Hidalgo. So we have so many things to do, but we'll continue tomorrow in the next phase on the what we have learned in the centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Dr. Alejandro Mandujano and the Innovation Agency of the State of Hidalgo, Mexico, for the presentation and the collaboration. And we are out of time, but we get back to Dr. Tura. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for this amazing panel to showcase the amazing developments that you have been doing in your centers, in the centers you work with or work in. And I was wondering these connections and trying to make such links that you were already exemplified. And I think we have great opportunities to connect these ideas and to learn with you. That's the intention for tomorrow. We'll have another panel to ask you to share some of the lessons you learned when implementing these centers. What were the difficulties, the challenges, and how we can learn with you in a way we can succeed as you are succeeding. So thank you very much for this panel. And now I would like to invite you for a short break. We have a coffee out there so that we can refresh a little bit, see the rain outside. It's amazing rain. And perhaps start to discuss with each other. So you will have our colleagues, the representatives of the Centers of Excellence on Transformative Technologies of OAS, free to talk with you, okay? And we convene again in about 20 minutes. So thank you very much. Hello. We are reconvening for the second panel of today, which is the last one, before the closing remarks that you have in the sequence. So I would like to invite my dear friend Livio Nico, Director of the CNRS office in São Paulo, to chair this panel and invite our invitees to take the floor. So Livio, welcome and thank you very much for all the support.
Isso, por que a gente está falando junto aqui? Sem problema. 10 minutes, okay. Hello everybody, good afternoon. Hoping that the coffee break was good for everyone. Now we're gonna continue with the last roundtable of the afternoon, of the event. I will invite my colleagues, which are part of and members of this roundtable, Flávia Ribeiro, Alfredo Goldman, depois eu vou dizer aonde vocês estão trabalhando, Nicolas Rito e François-Michel Le Tourneau, please. So as I'm going to explain you the structure of our International Research Center, our colleagues that you can see here are responsible for disciplinary pillars of this International Research Center. And as I'm going to advance in my presentation that I'm going to put here, I will explain which are their roles. And then once I'm going to be done with my presentation, I will invite each of them to speak a little bit about their disciplinary pillar. Can you put, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So my presentation here is about the National Research Center, French Scientific Research Center, which is called actually CNRS for Centre National de Recherche Scientifique. I'm going to explain you a little bit what this institution is doing actually, who's working there, and then what we are doing here in South America. So the plan of my presentation is here. First, a few words about the CNRS office in South America. So I reverted a bit my presentation. Then a few words about CNRS, some key figures. And then the partnership in between the CNRS and USP with the creation of this international research center that we have, the structure of the international research center, and then a few words about current and upcoming events. So we are actually based here in the USP campus, Butanta campus, at the Maison du CNRS. I'm going to show you a few photographs in a few moments. The team which is taking care of the CNRS office in South America is made of 2 people. My colleague, Pascal Sanger, who is in the room here, and myself. And we are covering South America for all the international cooperations in between teams, CNRS teams in France and research teams in South America. Okay, we are not alone. We have colleagues in Paris which are taking care of these international cooperations in terms of signing agreements, writing agreements, and so on and so forth. Our colleagues, Antonio Alcaraz Esteban Pardo, who is Cooperation Program Manager for South America, and Solène Marié, who is Deputy Director of the International Division of the CNRS in charge of Americas. Our missions at the CNRS Bureau are to represent the CNRS brand, to consolidate the international cooperations that we have here, and to prospect new cooperations. When we are feeling trends, we are transmitting this to CNRS Paris and to our institutes, discussing with our embassies and consulates, and we try to make rise new cooperations. So these are the key figures of the CNRS in 2024. We are more or less 32,000 employees. Our budget is more or less 4 billion euros in 2024. We have 1,000 laboratories in France and abroad, 10 scientific divisions. I'm going to explain them in a few moments. We have also, so what we are doing is basic research, but also applied research, and we're doing this with companies. We have joint research structures with private companies. And we are creating in between 80 and 100 startups per year. 2/3 of our publications are co-written with the foreign laboratory or partners, and almost 100% of our publications are open access. These are the scientific divisions of the CNRS. So we are working in these disciplines that you can see here: mathematics, information science, engineering, chemistry, and it goes until humanities and social sciences. This is our toolbox of international cooperation. So what we are used to do when we want to cooperate with somebody abroad is use our tools in order to start the cooperation. So it goes from by increasing the intensity of the cooperation from left to right. So for instance, when 2 PIs want to work together, but they don't know each other very well, we are funding what we are calling an international emerging actions for 2 years with a little bit of budget, which is seed funding in order for them to work together. And we are increasing the intensity progressively, passing by those stages that you can see here: international research project, international research laboratory. Actually, we have here in the panel 2 directors of 2 international research labs, which are here with the University of São Paulo. Nicolas, who is in charge with an international research lab of immunology in Ribeirão Preto, and François Michel, who is in charge with an international research lab of humanities. So international research labs are really strong structures where researchers from France and from abroad are working together on a daily basis in the country where the international research lab is set up. And The last but not least tool is what we are calling international research centers, which means that when we have a lot of cooperations with a university in the world, what we are deciding to do is, with the university, of course, is an international research center that gather together all the tools of cooperation that we have with that university. So right now, what we have in the world is 6 international research centers that are here, one with the University of Tokyo, one with Imperial College in London, one with the University of Sherbrooke in Quebec, 2 at the United States, University of Chicago and University of Arizona, and the 6th one is with the University of São Paulo. So why did you choose to work with, to create an international research center with the University of São Paulo? Is because we already had a lot of cooperations in a lot of disciplines with the University of São Paulo, and you can see some of them here. These are international research projects and networks in disciplines engineering, biological sciences, earth sciences and astronomy, humanities, of course, environment and ecology. And the result of this is that in 2 of those disciplines, we created 2 international research labs, which are the humanities and the immunology that I've already presented the directors a few moments ago. So, beside the partnership, what we saw is that the state of Sao Paulo is very involved in investing in research and innovation. The University of Sao Paulo is one of the universities of the state of Sao Paulo, but it's let's say the hugest one, and also an excellent university. And whatever would be the ranking, the international ranking that you are looking, you can see that University of Sao Paulo in Latin America is one of the best ones, if not the best. And so this also motivated the fact that we created an international research center with the University of Sao Paulo based on 7 disciplinary pillars. And this image is actually a bridge in France, which name is Viaduc de Millau, which has exactly 7 pillars. And that is why I decided to use this image in order to show the philosophy of our International Research Center with USP. So the disciplines that we actually, okay. I have a little trouble here. Whatever the touch I'm touching. So we could see here, you don't have the 20. Was the last one? Yeah. Okay, it was the last one. I don't, okay. No, okay, so the pillars are 7 in number, and the disciplines are appearing on each pillar. So we have the humanities, the information sciences, environmental sciences, quantum technologies, biological sciences, agro-decarbonation, and the oceans. And this will be actually the International Research Center that we already started 1 year ago, and we intend to continue working in this configuration for 10 years from now, at least. So each of the pillars has responsibles, and for the oceans, of course, Professor Tura is the USP responsible, and we have a colleague in France, which name is Sabrina Speisch, who is the CNRS responsible for this pillar. So we signed an agreement in March of this year in between FAPESP, USP, and CNRS, and FAPESP will bring actually some financial support for our International Research Center. And future actions for our IRC are here. We have some workshops that are coming Tomorrow we have a quantum tech workshop in between French researchers and Brazilian researchers. We are right now starting thinking with Alexander Tura on what we can do in the ocean pillar, right now. We have a high-level meeting in Paris, 9th and 10th of January, in order to assess the first year of life of the International Research Center at the CNRS headquarters. And we have some visits that will come next year in order to prospect and see if we can, or it's reasonable to create new disciplinary pillars in our IRC. And with this, I'm done. Thank you very much. And of course, if you have questions, I can take them. If not, I'm going to invite my colleagues. Thank you. Maybe we continue. So I'm going to invite Flavia Ribeiro with the presentation of the activities around the environment disciplinary pillar. Flavia.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm here representing our colleague Jean-Paul as the coordinator of the pillar. And so, to me, the environmental sciences pillar started at the workshop here at USP, at Maison du CNRS, but we could see that much work had been done before by a lot of people, also including our chair here, Livio, and also our hosts, Gilles Pinet, the director at the CNRS Ecology and Environment, and also Jean-Paul Metzger, professor of ecology here at USP. And during the workshop, we had 11 French and 16 Brazilian participants from very different backgrounds, ranging from, of course, ecology, biology, but also earth sciences and humanities, getting together to discuss this pillar. We have a photo here. And during the workshop, we had some brainstorms, and we tried to discuss what would be the themes or the axes that the pillar should foster research on. So we started with 3 main themes and groups, and we started working around that for 2 days, and we reached kind of a consensus in these 2 main axes. So one of the axes was towards climate justice in the face of extreme events and social ecosystems vulnerabilities. And some of the questions that we had there were how do we frame extreme events from interdisciplinary approach? How do we quantify extreme events? How do we assess vulnerabilities considering cross-scale aspects? Who decide what shape vulnerabilities? How do extreme events and vulnerabilities interact? And when does an extreme event become the new normal? So this some of the questions that we brought up during that workshop. But we had a second axis that was cross-scale and transboundary approaches to face socio-ecological polycrisis. And here we had mainly these 3 questions. How do nature conservation actions and policies interact in different levels? Which governance and institutional features allow a positive interaction of multi-scale measures, particularly considering climate justice? And how to I can talk a little bit. It's a... Yeah. You can see, but they cannot. Well, but I can continue, I can talk. One workshop at the University of Rennes. And again, Gilles Pinet hosted our workshop there with the Jean-Paul Metzger helping. And it was last September, at the end of September. And as we started discussing there, we had an additional motivation because we saw an ANR call for funding collaborative research between Brazilian and French institutions. So we started the workshop with this challenge to try and create a proposal for this call. Beginning with the axis that we had at the end of our workshop in São Paulo, we started again the discussions and we reached this overall question. So how extreme events affect socio-ecological connections between people and the environment and between different environments as well, and how those connections affect or impact extreme event responses, adaptation, resilience, transformative adaptation, at multiple scales and with justice. So again, we try to reach these overall questions, and we chose a case study for the proposal because we couldn't possibly do all that for a lot of cases in one proposal. So we chose heat waves, and our proposal title is Heat Scene, Socio-Ecological Changes in the Face of Extreme Events, Heat Waves in Brazil and France. And we chose also our PIs, so Fabrice Badet from INS Lyon is the French PI, and I would be the Brazilian PI. And here in the left is one of the figures that we produced during the workshop. So we discussed how extreme events are compound events when they include environmental, climatic, and social drivers. So they can drive socio-ecological connections, and they can impact and affect socio-ecological connections that will produce responses considering adaptation, resilience, transformative adaptation. And we could also consider the impact of these responses in the systems themselves. All this with a transversal thought around the principles of justice, and also on the perception, the science perception by society and by decision makers. So in our proposal, we are trying to join concepts and also our colleagues, our researchers from social sciences, from humanities, and from environmental sciences with this heat wave case study. And our goal is to identify and quantify solutions for the transition in response to extreme events. These are some of the participants in this proposal. So we have 16 participants from the French side, here Fabrice Badet as the PI, and 14 participants from the Brazilian team. Some of them are here. And also we chose some impacted environments to perform the research on, based also on the expertise of the team. So we chose cities, savannas or cerrado, Brazilian cerrado, and also coastal areas as some of the impacted environments. So we are choosing some sites in France and French Guiana, and also in Brazil. And we divided the methodology mainly around 3 tasks. The first one is to outline the heatwave event, identify scientific questions and societal issues, and detail the scientific and management databases. So where do we have this data, and how can we identify these events and outline the heatwave event? And the task 2 is compiling and synthesizing scientific questions from the field sides. So using synthesis science and data across fields and disciplines. And the task 3 is to generate new scientific questions that could structure future research programs. So our next steps, we are hoping that our pre-proposal is approved by NR, and so we need to prepare and submit a full proposal by, I think, the end of February. So we are starting to work on that. And for the relationship with the ocean, we have some obvious one, because already coastal areas are one of the environments that we are trying to study, but also in the ocean also defines heat waves and has a large impact on the event itself. And as you can see, several participants on the proposal are from the Oceanography Institute, so we have a lot of relationship around the ocean theme. So this is what I have for you today, and thank you very much.
Obrigado, Flávia. And now I'm going to invite, who I'm going to invite? Nicolas. Nicolas will explain us what's going on in the immunology part of the IRC.
Thank you very much, Livio. Just on my presentation. Okay, so boa tarde todo mundo. So it's a great pleasure to be here in São Paulo. I'm Nicolas Rito, and I started the Immune Health Laboratory in Ribeirão Preto in the field of immunology. So I'm just going to go really quick on that, just to say that there are 6 international research laboratories in South America, and we just had one in the field of biological sciences in Ribeirão Preto. And as Livio also mentioned, there are only 6 ERCs in the world, and we are really lucky to have one here in São Paulo, which is now located at the Maison du CNRS IRC on the Boutantin campus. So our lab is an association between the CNRS and the University of São Paulo, and the director of the laboratory is a professor at USP, José Carlos Alves Filho. It started in January 2024, and it's for 5 years, and then it can be renewed upon evaluation. So just to put things a bit in perspective, Brazil is a huge country, about 15 times the size of France, and we are located in Ribeirão Preto, which is really close, according to Brazilian standards, to São Paulo and Ribeirão Preto, only 300 kilometers apart. And we are located, this city is really middle size, like low size city for Brazil, 700,000 people. And it has a beautiful campus, a big one, which is about 600 soccer fields. And it used to be a coffee plant, and it's full of trees. It's a really beautiful campus. I invite all of you to come visit at some point if you have an occasion. And our lab is located at the Faculty of Medicine from Ribeirão Preto, FMRP. That's the main building. It's actually an historical building, part of the patrimonial here of the state. It used to be the first Faculty of Medicine outside of a state capital. And so the collaboration between my former lab in France and Brazil started a long time ago. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it started more than 15 years ago, and we had a lot of publications together, a lot of visits, both from French members to Brazil and vice versa. And this led to the creation of this International Research Laboratory 2024. And hopefully it will be renewed in 2029, so it's just the beginning of a very long journey together. We already had scientific achievements. It's brand new, but we are lucky to have disease defense from a co-tutor between France and Brazil. We hope to have many more in the future. This led also to a publication together in terms of exchange. So we already had a couple of people from France going to Ribeirão Preto from different cities, and also we're going to have professors from USP going to France. That's also only the beginning. And we were really lucky to have the official inauguration of our laboratory, which took place last Friday. Liviu was there, and we also were really lucky to have the director of the FMRP, Professor Zago, among many others. And so we have only a few people at the moment. We have 4 different sub-teams of different themes of immunology, innate immunity, and many other things. We're going to start to have students coming in and doing experimental work. So by the end of the first term, we hope to have a strong team here in Ribeirão Preto, and also to host people from outside, from France, but from all over the world, to have a lot of students, and to have a recurrent funding from the CNRS of the University of São Paulo, and also from grants. We're also going to apply to the INR, which is a good thing to do. And our activities, we are scientific lab, so our first goal is to publish scientific work, but also to interact with other labs all over the world. And that's the new building that hopefully is going to be built in Ribeirão Preto campus in a couple of years. So we are really, really excited with that. I think it's going to be a really good place for people to come and visit, and maybe to extend their stay here in Brazil. So I'm really grateful from the CNRS, but here from the University of São Paulo and its rector, who is really helping us a lot, together with the FAPESP, the Consulate of São Paulo, and my former lab in France. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicolas. And now I'm going to call Alfredo Goldman, who is in charge, one of the responsibles actually of the computing, methodologies, and applications pillar, right? Go ahead.
So, hello everyone. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about computer science. Okay, let's start with computer science. I know that most of you do not like computers. You just use them. So I'm trying to change a bit this. Oh, how can I hide this? Okay. So we have this pillar. It's technical human systems of the future. What's the idea? We want to have humans in the loop. It's not only about computers. And this is very important. And for who wants to see this presentation, it's available on this link. Just remember bit.ly Goldman Ocean. You can find this presentation. Okay? So I would like to reinforce that we cannot escape from it anymore. From 2001, we have these papers, The Importance of Computer Science. Why? Everything that we do is about simulations. We do not need to do real experiments, almost never anymore. So computer science is going all over the world. More than that, there are some facts that I would like to reinforce. In the 80s, we have a computer for many people. Now we have many computers by a person. Yes, your smartwatch is a computer. So you have several, and this changes a lot. And there was an enormous change in computing power. A smartwatch has the same power as the computer that went to the moon with the Apollo 11. So could you imagine this? And I have this chart to show what's happening with the computers. They're becoming larger and faster. That means that we have this list of the top 500 computers in the world, and we reached what is named the exaflop. That means a lot of flops, a lot of floating point operations by second. That means that we can do a lot of things with computers, really a lot of things. And we have a strong computer science field in Brazil. We have the Brazilian Computer Society, and we have many top graduate programs in computer science. So yes, we can collaborate. And now I would, for sure, I'm from the computer science. I have to talk a little bit about AI. And I don't know if you are aware, there was a field that was named protein folding. This area almost disappeared. Why? Computers were much faster to do that rather than humans. And for areas when we can use pattern recognition, you can do really, really very fast, much faster than humans. And you know LLMs, this kind of thing that you can talk with, chat. We can chat GPT, you can talk with these computers, and usually they provide good answers. And for instance, another thing, it's the Nobel Prize on Chemistry. It was about artificial intelligence models. So we cannot escape. Computers are there, and artificial intelligence is happening. So we want to collaborate. We understand about computers, and we understand about artificial intelligence. But I'll talk a little bit about our project. We launched it in 2023. We had 2 workshops, one here at Inova USP, before the center was the opening of the center, of CNRS Center, and we have another workshop this year in Paris. Sorry. If you want more information, we have a website with more information about our pillar. We have several axes. We have effective autonomous systems, one with energy-efficient megalopolises, and Flavia is part of it. It's great to have some intersection with her. We have one with sustainable supply chains, and one with very specialized AI things. I have several slides about these different lines, just to let you know that, yes, there are several things happening with many people and several funding options. We are obtaining funding from CAPES, CNPq, and FAPESP for several things. So this is one of them. This is the Sustainable Megalopolises for Humans. It's another project, and we have several lines on this project, and we have several people involved on this. Again, we have the chains, that's another one that have several things, open questions, and finally, unbiased. It's argumentation and norm-based intelligent agents. For you, I do not know how many of you have used ChatGPT or AI, and usually AI is very good when you use these large language models to provide you a convincing answer to you. Even if it's wrong, the answer is convincing, and this is a danger. So we are, in this project, in this part, we are going to, okay, let's try to understand if it can argumentate because why it's wrong or right, and try to make it with several agents from different AIs trying to figure out what's wrong or right. And this is another project. And so finally, we have some previous collaborations with other pillars. We participated in a part that was transitory circulations, that was with the pillar of human social science, and it was very nice. We provided a tool that they can use for showing better their information. It was really nice, and some kind of interdisciplinary things, it's really nice. And just to end, how computer science can help? This is the question. And computer science has to be more than a tool. So how can we help? That means that it has to be beneficial for both sides. It has to be a problem that is nice to solve in computer science, and a problem that can be used in practice. And that's it. I conclude my talk. Thank you.
Obrigado, Alfredo. And now, last but not least, François-Michel Letourneau, who is the director of the International Research Lab, Monde en Transition. He's going to tell us the story of his lab.
Thank you very much. So I don't have a PowerPoint, and it is the end of the afternoon, so I try to be as fun as I can, and I try to entertain you a little bit before we close this meeting. Talking about our pillar and also International Research Laboratory, which is named Worlds in Transition. Like any pillar of the IRC, like you've seen, It's first a community. So we have a very strong community in humanities and social sciences between the University of São Paulo and France in general and CNRS in particular. And so this community has gathered twice in 2023 to draft a work program. And after that, the program was drafted early 2024, and then we had the signature of the agreement creating the International Research Laboratory Worlds in Transition between USP and CNRS. And two directors have been appointed on each side. I am the director for the French side, and Claudia Perrone-Moises of the Faculdade de Direito of the University of São Paulo is the director for the Brazilian side. And so we are starting our activities just right now. We also are drafting a FAPES pioneer proposal and several things. So what is our work program? As we are named worlds in plural, in transition in singular. So this is what we are focusing on. The idea is that we have several worlds together in the same planet, but several worlds communicating, etc. And they are facing a major transition today. The world has always been in transition, this is a clear point, but what we are seeing now is faster, is deeper, is more complicated, and so we have to understand it better. And we have 5 axes of work. The first one is about circulation. It's circulation of people, obviously, migration, but we are also talking of circulation of ideas, of thoughts, of everything, and we are aiming at not only the circulation between Brazil and France or between the Americas and Europe, but also including Africa in this triangle to understand how I was almost speaking in Portuguese. So how ideas and also religion can travel across the seas, and we have many Afro-American cults here in Brazil. So this would be the first axis. The second one is about cultural diversity with an emphasis on indigenous languages. You know that Brazil is very rich in indigenous cultures and languages, and so we are trying to work in this direction and to understand it better, but also opening to other cultural diversity, and this, there again we are dealing with Afro-American heritage. The third axis is about inequality, how inequality worsens or not, or how there are new inequalities in this world in transition. And in this axis, we are also dealing with, for example, the new economy, the new platform economy, creating new inequalities in the society. And so this is more about social and economical approaches. The fourth one is about law and democracy. In a world in transition with new topics of the international law, for instance. The environment is becoming a very hot topic in law today, but also how democracy is being reinvented or challenged by new tools like social media platforms and this kind of thing. And the last one is devoted to the environment with the perspective of the Anthropocene. We are not discussing the perspective of the Anthropocene, but we are using it as a tool to investigate current changes in the interface between societies and the environment. So we are using, or we are gathering all the disciplines of humanities and social sciences. So there is no discipline that is excluded, and also we want to work with the other pillars on interdisciplinarity perspectives, because this is really necessary. So what is exactly an IRL, or International Research Laboratory? It's a research unit. What is really specific about us is that we are binational. So we are a French research lab, and so our researchers can ask funds to the French National Agency, but we are also a Brazilian lab under the University of São Paulo, and so we can also seek funding here in Brazil. So this is very important as a feature. And we are also a bridge. We are designed to be a bridge between those two communities in Brazil and in France. And it's a two-way bridge. I think it's very important. So we are here to have French researchers coming here at USP and working with Brazilian colleagues, but also we are here to have Brazilian colleagues going to France and working in CNRS labs everywhere in France. The difference is that use is concentrated here in the state of São Paulo, and the CNRS is everywhere in France. Also, so what we can help is we can host researchers or send researchers abroad, but also we can access a number of CNRS tools. Liviu presented a number of them. And also we have used FAPESP tools, and so we are an incubator of this cooperation. And so we are starting now. We had a strong community. If this is an indication, we have 80 people in our mailing list. So we have 80 faculty already interested with our activities. And we are launching a campaign with people who can affiliate to our lab. We have 3 categories of members. The permanent members are assigned by France or Brazil to the laboratory, and they are permanent one, and it's exclusive dedication. But there will be few of them. We have participating members, people from France or Brazil who want to put some of their research under the laboratory because they think that they can foster new direction and new projects within the laboratory, and associated members, which are more, it's a category more for people doing PhD or postdoc. So, so I already said we want to also to have cross-pillar cooperation. We already have a dialogue with the environmental pillar and also with the ocean. And so to close with that, I think that we have a space in our International Research Laboratory for studies or research about coastal societies. And we have in Brazil several specific types of societies on the littoral, on the coast. Fishing is a big issue, and it's also a big issue and a big problem between France and Brazil in the north of Brazil. We have also the oceans are economic drivers, etc., etc. So we have a lot to discuss within the question of the ocean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, François Michel. Thank to all of you, and I think we are done right on time. And let you the floor for the closing.
Thank you. Thank you, Liviu. Thank you, our representatives of these pillars, which showed us the potential we have in the university and the things that we are already doing here, and the potential for collaboration. I think potential for collaboration resumes what we are trying to show this, considering OAS scheme, arrangement, and the CNRS IRC scheme. So we can learn with each other and build with each other these futures, these worlds, as you said. Thank you very much. So, muito bem. Well. We are almost in the end of today. We were waiting for Professor Fernando Menezes to come to give a final message to us, but he is in a committee, selective committee, and probably the committee is late, so he couldn't join us. But the idea is that we relax now, because we have a long day tomorrow, where we will learn with each other a little bit more, aiming to understand the lessons learned from the OAS Centers of Excellence, but also to understand what's the ecosystem of innovation we had here close to us, considering the internal components in the university and also the external ones. So we have the opportunity to have presentations from, for example, the National Bank for Social and Economic Development, showing how this realm is perceived and has been worked by the bank, or other arrangements that you have in USP, like Inova USP space. So it's important that, for me personally, it's an endeavor to understand this ecosystem and to think how to link these different components and opportunities to have the best we can for the ocean and from the ocean. So that would be my final message for today, and deeply acknowledge you all for this huge and fantastic moment in the recognition of the importance of the ocean and the need to engage to have a sustainable ocean in the near future. So thank you very much, and safe trip back to the hotels, home, and we see together. We'll be together tomorrow morning at 9. Okay? Thank you.